Going on this week's episode from the Boeville Newtown? Well, it's right over here. Stand by and we'll get into what's happening this week. October the 20, I just had it in my head and now I just lost it. Oh well, it is what it is. It's October 23rd of 2022. This is episode 39 for 2022. Welcome aboard, Track Gang. As you can see, I kept my intro. I think that hook works out well. At least that's the general consensus from everybody. I did make some minor modification to it, but as you can see from the intro, though, we've got some stuff to go over. So I think what we're going to do first here is we're going to let the video roll that I took yesterday over at the Black Rock Central. So we'll be back. So I am over here at the famed Black Rock Central with Joe Rader. Figured I'd stop by after all these times that we said we were going to catch up, and finally, here I am. So I've got the, I actually remembered the battery pack, so I could actually use the episode camera. Unlike when I went to the train show last weekend and forgot the battery pack, and I was afraid that I was going to start filming and the battery was going to die on this thing. So. I was just telling Joe, I said, the funny thing of it is the videos just don't do this thing justice. This is bigger in person than what it is looking at it on the videos. Wow.
Helps to turn the damn turnouts the right direction.
That normally is a good thing, yes. And Joe just started up a freight train here.
And we'll let this run around at least once, then we'll get the passenger service going.
I love the display shelves. One of these days, because right now the only thing I've got is like an old bookcase that I'm putting everything on. Wow. Everything works until you have somebody watching. And then you have a derailment.
Get on there, Mon Pa.
So it looks like you're basically modeling about the same era that I am, with the 50s and 50s.
Well, I'm doing 1975 through basically 1980.
I gotcha. So you're running the era kind of after what I'm running then.
Yeah.
Because I'm running.
We are not going to play. No.
His doggy Jack is or Jumping Jack here is having a ball because of the fact that there's somebody in the house. Kind of reminds me. We were just upstairs talking. I said, yeah, that sounds like my dogs. The one thinks that everybody that comes in is supposed to pay attention to him, and that's it.
Now that one, they decided they don't want to work again. Okay. And crossing gates, their signal isn't working, which is strange, but that's okay. You'll find that every once in a while, that one there will just blow its horn for the heck of it. I need to totally reprogram the damn thing, and I just haven't gotten to it.
FAs?
Yeah.
Or FA and FB?
Yeah.
Right on cue.
Yeah. No reason for it, but there's a thing with the Digitrax decoders that they have a a CD on there for a playable horn,
Mm-hmm.
which means it will do that right there unless CD something or other is reset. Well, I've reset it like 4 times, and it continues to do whatever it feels like doing. Now we'll let it get past the station, and we'll fire up the RDC.
I just realized your drop-down section is dual level, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I don't think I would have attempted that. I did.
The upper track is what the RDC runs on.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You know, when Anthony and Dave Thurber were over,
Mm-hmm.
we had a crash over here between the RDC and the freight train because the RDC crosses the freight track.
Right.
So you have to kind of space things out and then keep an eye on it. And we were over here talking away and nobody was paying attention to it until all of a sudden we heard, oh, wait a minute, what the heck's going on? There's no noise. Usually I'll wait until the freight train goes by, then take off, and you got a little bit of running time before you have to slow one of them down or stop it completely. But no reason.
Well, that was actually well timed. It was right before it went across
Yeah.
the crossover there, so that was pretty well timed.
And I can never remember the damn number on that. 9934. Every once in a while, doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, you can get from this vantage point right here, nice and low, you can get the freight train coming under the bridge and the RDC going over the bridge.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't happen very often.
Love the refinery.
That's what everybody says.
That is an amazing amount of work, Joe. All the piping and all over here. That's just insane.
Well, Sparky was talking about making trees. And I thought to myself, I don't have the patience to sit there and make trees. And he says, you built this and then tell me you don't have patience? So I've tried making trees a couple times and they just do not come out good. So 90% of the trees on here are from long shadow trees.
I must say he makes some nice trees.
Yeah.
I know that they're not cheap, but the quality is.
And each one is different. It's not like, you know, they're all repetitive like you get the same thing.
Right. That's impressive. It didn't even stutter.
And it will make noise going around this corner. It doesn't like that curve.
one of the things I found with mine, with my RDC, was the fact that it, I've got to give it a lot of power before it moves. I mean, with my DC setup, I've got to get that thing up to about 75-80%. Just to get it to run halfway decent across the layout, and it's the only one that's like that. And the only thing I can figure is it's the gearing that's in it.
Yeah.
It's a P1K. I mean, it's a great unit. It's just the fact that you've got to give it a lot of juice.
Well, I bought that thing off of eBay, and it's an old Lifelike unit that somebody else put the DCC in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said it runs good, yada yada yada. He wanted $50 for it. And I said, well, you know, even if it's not that great, yeah, because I figured that this layout's not big enough to run a big passenger train.
Right.
And I said, yeah, the RDC will work for my passenger service. And I bought it, and hell, I've had a bit of trouble out of it.
Yeah, that's what mine is. It's a Lifelike P. It's a P1K. It's strictly DC. But you know, I was really surprised as to how much power you have to get it to move. But who made the bridge?
That's a Walther's kit.
That's a Walther's kit?
Yep. Yeah, most of the buildings on here are Walther's kits. There's a couple that aren't, you know, that have snuck in here.
Right.
But I think most of them are Walther's kits of some strange origin. Yeah, you'll make it through.
Yeah, I think you're going to be safe.
I've still got tons of stuff I want to get done here eventually, but
And you're a lot further along than I am.
well, this is I've got to say this thing, Mom died in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was basically just getting started on this layout.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're 6 years old, so almost 7 years old that I've been working on this. And with no track plan whatsoever, I started out with nothing but a switching layout.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got tired of doing nothing but switching cars. I said, you know, I want to run a train like I always did. You know, at least have something running all the time. And I just started expanding as room would allow, because at that time I was still doing a lot of contract work part-time. And I had table saws and sanders and a radial arm saw on the other side, so it was kind of, you know, you're restricted to keeping things on one side of the basement.
Right.
And I just started putting things up, and I had a whole bunch of track from the previous layouts, you know, over the years, and I just started laying out track. Yeah, that'll work. You know, put 6 or 7 feet of track in and run the train. Yeah, okay, that's good. Just added as I went.
Definitely impressive. I mean, I just noticed the cement plant over on the other side too.
Yeah. Let me get out of your way.
Wow.
That whole thing is like almost 12 feet long. I think it's about a little over 10 feet long. That whole side there is 12 feet, so that's right around 10 feet long. That's a couple of Walther's kits, a pipe stuff kit, and a whole bunch of extra silos from different Walther's kits thrown in there.
Yeah, but the thing is, Joe, I mean, it's believable. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, and that takes work. That definitely takes work. I mean, to make it look like it belongs, and that's impressive. Between this and the refinery, that's a lot of work.
Well, I've built 3 of those damn refineries now. There's 2 complete refinery kits over there. And then after I got the second one built, then Jack hollered, "Hey, I need another one too," because he had one that I believe he had built, and he's using it as a chemical plant, not an oil refinery.
Right.
And then he says, "I want another one, but I don't have time. I'm sending you a kit." So he sent it, and I had to put that one together for him.
I remember watching those videos of you building the stuff for Jack. Definitely impressive.
And then my second attempt at scratch building was my house.
That was where when I realized, when you said, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I've seen that house. And I'm like, wait, I passed this house on the way to bowling. Oh man, all right, I'm gonna. So as you can see, I had a wonderful time over talking to Joe over at the Black Rock Central. He has got an amazing layout, and just like folks have talked about with the Boeville and Newtown, it's much bigger in person. He has done an unbelievable job with the Black Rock Central. I was happy to be able to finally catch up with him, considering the fact that we're like 10-15 minutes apart. You know, here it is. Him and I, we've been talking back and forth for a bit, and it just seemed like my schedule just wasn't working out, and I know he was doing some work over the summer. So it was like, yeah, just trying to catch up, but we had a grand time. He actually did come over here yesterday afternoon, so it was, I went over and saw his layout, and then he came over here and saw mine. So I'm sure that there's probably going to be something coming up from the Black Rock Central, Joe Rader. His channel is obviously in the description. If you're not subscribed to Joe, go subscribe to Joe. Good guy. Had a blast. Between his house and my house, I think we spent a total of maybe 3.5 to 4 hours just talking layouts, talking trains. He gave me some ideas that I had not thought about. He actually did something with his backdrop that I didn't realize, and that was he used 1/4 inch underlayment and then put bracing behind it to keep it from bending and warping. And I just went up to Home Depot and realized that, you know what, underlayment is a heck of a lot cheaper than freaking masonite, and it's just as smooth. So I think when the time comes around, which may be soon, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing for a backdrop here. Because to be honest, I'm getting tired of being able to see into the hidden yards from where you're not supposed to be able to see the hidden yards. And not only that, but that way it also covers up my metal posts. But anyway, while I was over at the Black Rock Central yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and swing the camera down here a minute. Joe had a box for me. So what it is, first thing is he went ahead and I've now got a 50-foot boxcar from the Black Rock Central. Obviously, as soon as I can get the car card made for this will be on the railroad. So it'll be the first, if I don't drop it, it'll be the first one from a local railroad. Obviously, I've got the Crooked River and Eastern now too, which is already car carded and in one of the hidden yards. I think it's actually sitting in the Harrisburg hidden yard storage. So I now have a Black Rock Central car, and I got some more brass track. So I've got some left and right hand switches, it looks like, in here. I know when I first looked in this box yesterday, there was also something else that is going to be extremely helpful, namely for the interurban. I've got another Y. Why? I don't know. But this is really oh, there was 2 Y's in there. Oh man. No, make that 3. Do we hear 4? No, just 3 so far. And I think that was all the turnouts. The rest of this is all straight sections, if I could talk. A couple of bumpers, which will be good because there are places where I still need to do that. These are definitely handy. But like I said, some straight sections, and I've got a 90-degree crossing. Not sure if I'm going to be able to use that, but we'll see. You never know with the different plans that I've got for the possible expansions later down the road, that might come in handy. But we've got some lefts and some rights, and we got 3 Ys. Oh boy. Yeah, those are definitely going to come in handy. Absolutely. Like I said, I know that I can use those up on the interurban. So that was the neat little haul from Mr. Joe Rader over at the Black Rock Central. Like I said, we had a great time yesterday afternoon. I told him, I was just emailing with him saying, we got to do that again. Obviously, again, you know, if you can hit me up through email, that's probably the easiest way to go. Unfortunately, I have not been on my Railroad Facebook page as much as I'd like to. As busy as I've been, it's become, just become, I hate to say a hassle, but it's just become, I just haven't been able to get over there. So there hasn't been many things, and I apologize now because I know I missed a couple of birthdays. James Galton's birthday was not that long ago. I think it was a couple days ago. And I'm sure I've missed other things on there. I may end up maybe seeing if one of the Sidetrack Sunday guys wants to be an admin for me in my absence for the Railroad page, just to kind of help out with, with the birthday stuff and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to make it a point to get over there more often, but like I said, I have just been so busy. And as I've mentioned before, the whole point with having the Railroad one was to have my personal stuff separated from the Railroad stuff. So that way things weren't getting intermixed. And at one point in time, and in fact I still am, I was a part of so many different model railroad groups on Facebook that on my personal page with all the bowling stuff that I've got going on over there, it just became too much. I couldn't keep, I mean, I was getting inundated with notifications, and it just became too much of a pain. That's the reason why I separated them. Moving on, there is a couple of things. I obviously want to get back to the bench. I want to get through the passenger cars, the ones I picked up at the train show last weekend. I want to go over those. I want to kind of get things reset on the B&N from the train show and actually get some things moving here. So I think without further ado, let me go ahead and stop here for a bit, and we'll go back to the bench and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so we're back here at the bench, and I'm going to swing over here a minute and basically go over what we got going here. First things first, this here is the car that I had. I just wanted to bring it back here to the bench to make sure that the couplers are the right height, which that side's good. And that side looks good, so he can go back to the layout. He's in good shape. Now, as I try to clean up the bench here a little bit so I can actually get some work done. I'm not doing these in any particular order, to be perfectly honest. I do need to find, there we go. I think of all the passenger cars that I picked up, I think this one might be the one that's in the roughest of shape. But we'll see. One of these days I'll move the trash can closer to me. Not like there's a whole heck of a lot of room down here anyway. The reason why I say that, this one here is a little bit dirty. I'll probably try and clean him up a little bit. It does look as if it's missing some glass. which is not entirely not really a complete issue, and that there's nothing in that. Okay. Alright. So I think what I am going to do, though, is I'm just going to put the piece of glass. I don't even know if this is the quality. Yeah, this is okay. I got it. I see now. So this is the Martha Washington, and this looks to be. It doesn't even tell me. I would imagine that the Martha Washington may have been a sleeping, or not a sleeping car, but a coach. And it is kind of funny that originally I had picked up these passenger cars to go behind the President Washington. Not these particular cars. These particular cars are going to get pulled by the Boeville and Newtown. And I'm trying to figure out why this doesn't seem to be oh, it's because I put it in backwards. That's why. It only goes in one way. There we go. I was trying to figure out why there was so much of a gap. There we go. Alright. So while we're here, we'll check our wheel gauge. That side looks good. That side looks good. And this one here does need to be converted to Katie's. I just noticed something here. That's somewhat interesting. And I think it's because of the fact that whoever had these cars, I think, was trying to light them at one point. Alright, so I need... that's the Phillips. I know I had a flathead screwdriver over here at some point. Oh, there it is. Because these trucks seem to be a little loose. Actually, not only is that loose, but the weight was a little loose too. That's a lot better. Alright, let's swing over here to the other side. Tighten this one up. Alright. And then we'll tighten that up. But to get in here, to change these over, sometimes these Athearn coupler boxes on these freight cars or passenger cars, it doesn't matter which, can be a bit of a pain to get apart. Alright, I got it. Let's see if I've got... That's a steel head. That's a normal one. That's a scale. Alright, I got a pair of couplers now. The only thing I need is the centering springs. And we can go ahead and hopefully, well, of course my hand's in the way because I'm right-handed. Oh, get in there. There we go. Alright, that's one side done. Gone. There we go. Now, of course, the biggest thing with this is trying to make sure that you actually put the coupler in the correct side down, or correct side up, or correct side down, however you want to call it. And then, of course, making sure that the coupler actually ends up back in the pocket where it belongs to. Alright, that looks pretty good. Height looks good on that side. And this one here, the trip pin's a little bit low. Where's my tool? Gentle squeeze. And that's better. If I can just figure out why it doesn't want to. Maybe it's still a little low. Okay, there we go, we got it. I think we got it. Make sure I put this thing back together the right way this time. Alright, so he's ready to go. I can get rid of the box. Well, not get rid of the box, but move it out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple more of these, because most of these I think are KD'd anyways. And if I find something interesting, I'll turn the camera back on. Alright folks, sorry for this being such a long video, but hey, this episode was pretty well jam-packed with stuff, so hopefully you all enjoyed it. Don't forget, starting in November, on the Friday videos, the Friday episodes, I'm going to start doing eliminations leading up to the 500 subscriber drawing that'll happen on Sidetrack Sunday at the end of the month of November. So keep your eyes open for that. Like I said, I'm going to be putting that into the video, and I was looking at it last night. I had 62 people that signed up that are eligible for the drawing. I will try to put together some sort of a list and put it, maybe I'll put it as a part of the next video. And we're going to get this thing rolling because it's way behind. So with that, you all know the deal. Wait for the high ball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch y'all next time. Be safe. God bless. We will see you.